Are you looking for the best smartwatches? In this video we will look at some of the 8 best smartwatches on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Apple Watch Series 7. The Apple Watch is the best smartwatch money can buy. It has the best operating system, watchOS, which is slick, with plenty of apps to help reduce the number of times you need to pull out your phone. The Series 7, 8 out of 10, Wired recommends, has a larger and brighter screen, faster charging, improved resistance to water and dust, and the ability to automatically detect when you've hopped on a bike so it can properly log that activity. The bigger screen means you can use a full-screen keyboard for swipe typing short messages. The health features haven't changed much since the last version, though they're set to improve with the upcoming watchOS 9 update later this fall. There's a sensor to measure oxygen saturation in the blood, SpO2, helpful for athletes training at altitude or anyone with an underlying health condition, and the FDA-cleared electrocardiogram sensor. Unfortunately, battery life is still mediocre. You'll need to charge it in the evening, before you go to bed, if you want to track your sleep, especially if you use the watch to track a workout during the day. Check out our best Apple Watch accessories guide for all the extras. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. Samsung's Galaxy Watch 4 and Watch 4 Classic, 7 out of 10, Wired recommends, are the first to use Google's Wear OS 3 instead of the company's homegrown Tizen operating system. This brings broader app support, making it one of the best options if you have an Android smartphone. Third-party apps are still trickling in since Samsung switched to Wear OS, but recent updates have added apps like Google Assistant. Samsung managed to retain nearly the same interface and many features from its previous smartwatches, including a bright OLED screen, easy ways to respond to messages, smooth performance, and accurate health and fitness tracking, heart rate and SpO2. Unfortunately, the electrocardiogram and blood pressure monitoring features only work if you have a Samsung phone. The latter isn't available in the US yet. Battery life is lackluster, with the smaller models lasting just a day. If your wrist can manage it, I recommend sizing up to get the more capable battery. The classic version of the watch is made of stainless steel instead of aluminum, and it has a mechanical rotating bezel around the screen for navigating the interface. It's nice, but not worth the upcharge. Number 3. Garmin Vivomove Sport. Who says Garmins have to be hulking, sporty-looking watches? The new Vivomove Sport comes in a few fun colors and looks like a normal watch, except for the tiny display on the lower half of the face. You can tap and swipe across this touch screen to start tracking workouts, see notifications, and look at your calendar entries. Just because it looks snazzy doesn't mean it lacks the fitness tracking chops that Garmin is known for. You can track your heart rate, blood oxygen, respiration, and sleep, and this data can be synced to Garmin's Connect app. That also means the watch can gauge your body battery, which speculates how much energy you might have for the day based on a range of data collected by the sensors. It'll last around 3 to 5 days doing all of this. The downside? There's no onboard GPS, so you'll have to bring your phone with you if you want to track your running routes. For more fitness-focused watches, read our best Garmin watches and best fitness trackers guides. Number 4. Withings ScanWatch. Withings ScanWatch, August 10th, Wired recommends, has nearly all the same functions as Garmin's Vivomove Sport, heart rate and sleep tracking, basic notifications, but it goes further with its FDA clearance for the blood oxygen and electrocardiogram measurements. The latter can be helpful to detect atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeats, though you should always consult your physician if you're concerned about the results. This minimalist watch can go a whole month between charges. Who doesn't love that? The face is covered by sapphire glass, and the case is stainless steel, so it's durable and feels well built. What gives away its smart sensibilities is the OLED subdial, which is also one of the ScanWatch's biggest downsides. This screen is tiny. You'll be reading texts like the news ticker in New York's Times Square. It's better for quickly glancing at the date and your heart rate and step count. Number 5. Mobvoi Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra GPS. Mobvoi has been churning out smartwatches that run Google's Wear OS platform for years, and the latest Ticwatch Pro 3 Ultra shows this level of refinement. It doesn't have Google's newest Wear OS 3 version, but it is slated to get it sometime this year. Nevertheless, it does all the things I need. Scrolling through the interface is very smooth. With speedy app launches, I get timely notifications I can respond to or dismiss, and it does a surprisingly great job of tracking the most important health metrics, like SpO2, step count, 24/7 heart rate monitoring, and sleep. It's a bulky watch, so it's not for all wrists. Also, the design is a bit ordinary. I recommend swapping the 22mm strap for something more exciting. What makes this watch special is the dual-layer screen. Tap it and you'll be treated to a wonderful AMOLED, but when the screen goes into standby mode, it'll switch to a monochrome LCD panel that merely sips battery juice. That makes this one of the few full-featured smartwatches that can comfortably last 2 full days on a charge. Even if it dies, it switches on an essential mode that shows the time, plus heart rate, sleep tracking data, and step count, and this mode can last much longer. You'll rarely have a completely dead watch with nothing on the screen. Number 6. Skagen Hybrid HR Jorn. I love wearing the Skagen Jorn, which is what matters most with a watch. The round design and mechanical hands make it very much like a traditional timepiece, but I can immediately see my heart rate data, step count, and the weather on the e-ink screen. You can control music playback, and the companion app lets you choose which apps you'll get notification alerts from. The whole thing lasts well over a week on a single charge. You can use it to track workouts, but I wouldn't rely on it, as activity tracking isn't very accurate, though resting heart rate matched up with results from other smartwatches. E-ink screens just aren't suited for this. It can also monitor sleep, but I didn't find that feature helpful. The Jorn tries to do too much, and the interface is clunky, but it's a good watch if you like the look and want very simple health data alongside basic notification alerts. Number 7. Casio ProTrek PRW61. I've had this Casio on my wrist for more than a month, and I've used one of its handful of functions every single day, something I can't say for many smartwatches. I use the stopwatch to track my rest intervals between sets at the gym. I set my world time to New Delhi, India, the time zone my sister and parents are in. I've actually used the compass to navigate when I emerge from the subway in New York City and can't get my bearings, and I've learned to read the barometer, mostly just to see how cool it is to predict the weather without having to ask a voice assistant. I love how this watch looks. It's rugged and outdoorsy, but still relatively classy. Even better, it's incredibly comfortable to wear. Seriously, I have never taken it off since I unboxed it. It's been fine in the shower and through workouts. I love that it's made of biomass plastics from regenerative resources, such as castor seeds and corn, and other raw materials. Don't let that worry you about durability. I've been through a move, dinging it on various walls, got paint on it, and yet it looks pristine. The dial is easy to read, the indices glow, or you can press a button right below the case to light them all up for nighttime visibility. And you never need to recharge it. Casio's tough solar tech means it recharges itself via sunlight. Number 8. Skagen Falster Gen 6. A smartwatch is as much a fashion accessory as it is a utility, and the Skagen Falster ticks a lot of boxes for me. I love the simple design and the minimalist watch faces that never look too busy, and I'm always a sucker for leather straps, though there are several straps to choose from. It goes well with much of my wardrobe, and I always feel good when I glance at it on my wrist. I love it. Internally, this Wear OS smartwatch is akin to Fossil's Gen 6 smartwatch. It runs the same Snapdragon Wear 4100 Plus processor, and while it currently operates Wear OS 2, it will get the update to Wear OS 3 this year. Performance is smooth. I can ask Google Assistant to turn off the lights in my apartment, swipe the keyboard to send responses back to friends, and easily change the color of the watch face to match my outfit. There's heart rate and sleep tracking, plus SpO2 measurements. All of the results matched my Apple Watch Series 7, though the Skagen usually took longer to get me those numbers. I just wish battery life was better. It only lasts about a day with sleep tracking, but it recharges fairly quickly.